Hello, my name is Mandy. I am with Scott Leroy Marketing, and today's class is going to go over designs. It's called Nurture Your Database Print Marketing. So, in today's class, we'll be deep diving right over here in your Designs tab within Command, and I'll show you how to actually find the templates, show you where your assets live in there, and all kinds of goodies, as well as how to edit like a flyer, and also how to edit a listing or buyer presentation. If you're here with me live, just like we talked about, you can definitely drop any questions or comments in the chat. I'll be happy to get those answered for you either during class or just right after. I'll stay a couple of minutes. So just keep those questions coming. And then if you're watching this back on recording, you can always reach out to us via email as well. And our email address is support@scottleroymarketing.com, and we'll be happy to help. All right. So welcome, everybody. Still got some folks coming in. Awesome. So, with Command and with Designs, I'm going to go ahead and jump over here to the Designs tab. It's the paintbrush with the square on the left-hand side of your command. If you're not familiar with the icons just yet, you can always click that red square at the top to pop them out, and you can hide them again if you just want to click it again. Okay. But this is your Designs tab. This will look different for everyone. The items that you're seeing right here on my designs tab, these are items that have already been edited. And so then they kind of pin themselves right here on your design dashboard for easy access later. So no worries if you're not seeing the same items right here. Again, it looks different for everybody. It'll just be the designs that you personally have edited. Okay. And just to give you a brief overview about this too, notice that you can see what type of design they are: email, social piece, print piece, and the prints will be what we'll focus on today. We do have other design classes if you haven't checked them out already. They're typically taught on Thursday, and you can definitely check those out. And the archives, again, are on our YouTube channel. Over here in the top right-hand corner, you have a Create a Design button. We're going to go ahead and click that and choose print as our type of design for today. Now, this will get you back into kind of the print and social area of your designs. And then I can show you like your assets, your projects, and the templates that are actually back here too. There's gobs of templates that you can use. So let me click print here and next. This may take just a second to load here. All right. And so once you're back here, let me zoom in so it's a little bit bigger for you guys to see. Once you're back here, again, this is where you go when you are creating either a social piece or a print piece, or if you are importing a template into Command. So I'm just going to give you some general overview of the layout back here. At the top, you'll notice that you have some options like templates. Over here on the left-hand side, let me minimize some of these folders so that you can see all of them. These are all the templates that KW currently provides within your command designs. They're all free and you can edit every single one of them. And so as you click on the different topics on the left-hand side, you'll see them broken out. We are going to focus on like the just listed today and the presentations. When you click on just listed, notice that it has different sizes up here at the top. So you have all kinds of things available back here: brochures, flyers, letter size flyers, social pieces as well, door hangers, postcards, you name it. There's usually something back here for it. And so you can definitely come back here and explore every single item that you're seeing right here. These are different templates, and you can jump in and edit them and make them your own without having to recreate the wheel. Okay, lots of goodies back here. The next tab up here is images. So you can actually come in here and search through stock images to use for your print and your social pieces and any other piece rather that you're looking for. So you can actually come back here and search through images, vectors, illustrations, things like that. Keep those questions coming, guys. I will make sure that if they weren't answered in class, they will definitely be answered by the end of class. So no worries. It's okay if you jump ahead. Go ahead and drop those questions. Um, And so right here again, images where you can come and sort through these, okay? And hunt and peck for some stuff. Next is my projects. These are things that you've been working on, but there's actually some extra bonuses right up here at the top. You can start from blank. You don't have to use one of the templates, and you can even come in here and create a custom size or use one of the suggested sizes as well. Okay. Lots of things like Facebook covers, Instagram stories, large postcards, jumbo postcards, lots of things back here that you can come back and create on your own as well. Also, click away from that, you can import and edit any PDF within your command designs. Pretty handy dandy. Just know that when you import as a PDF, sometimes the fonts that are on the PDF are not currently available in your command designs, and so it will ask you to choose a different font sometimes that may be similar and available in designs. If you're running into any trouble with importing PDFs, you can actually convert that PDF file to an image file and then import it as an image into your command designs, and that way it will fully retain your fonts, your layout, all the stuff. Okay. And then you can try to add back in links if you need to later. Over on the far right, you can also remove image background, which is a neat tool to have. So that lives back here. And you can see under your My Projects, you can create folders to keep them organized and view all the projects that you've currently worked on. Okay. Next, Assets tab. So right here, there are assets that KW has already built in for you, as well as if you were set up here by SLM, we likely also added in assets for you as well. And just to show you some of these, I'm going to back out just a little so that you can see this layout a little bit better. Let me know if that's not big enough for you guys to see though, okay? So right over here on the top left, you can toggle between company assets, which are the ones that KW has built in for you, as well as my assets, and these are the ones that you've added or SLM has added for you. So we'll stay on company assets just for a moment, and colors and fonts are the first option. Now, while we're being able to view all of this under the assets tab, this is all available to you once we get into the editor. When we're creating a piece or using a template, these are all at a click away, like they're easily accessible once you're in the editor. This tab just sits here in case you need to come check something or add to those assets, possibly download it to use it for something different other than a design, that kind of thing. So we're just going to explore this tab and then we'll jump into the editor and I'll show you how you can pull all of this in easily to a piece. Okay. So right here with assets, colors and fonts, you do have some filter options where you can go through and see them. The palettes are listed right here. They actually have the luxury KW luxury palette, the main KW palette, and they do have a land palette now as well. And then you can see some of the fonts that are used throughout the KW marketing, but this is also all the fonts that are available within your KW command design as well. Okay. Next are images. They've gone ahead and made some folders for you guys that have images already in them. So you can come here and browse through these if you would like. Let me click that again, see if we can get it to stay open. Hold on. There we go. And so you can see some of the images they've already built in here for you as well. Over to the left, you'll see some text. These are just snippets that you would typically use repeatedly on your marketing. They've already gone ahead and added them in here for you to save you some time. So you literally get to drag and drop them into a design piece instead of having to retype it over. Logos, pretty self-explanatory. Your KW logos will be listed here as well. We get a lot of questions about commercial and luxury. So those logos have just recently been added by KW back here in assets. So you no longer have to hunt and peck for them. Now, you also will notice these are just KW logos, not necessarily your Market Center logo. So I'm going to show you where you can get those in just a minute. There's different elements that are back here as well. I'll go ahead and click on a folder so you can get an idea. It's little images, icons, things like that. You also have videos and files available through company assets if they've loaded any that are back here. Okay, let's switch over to my assets. And now these are the ones that you can create on your own and save, like under my assets and colors and fonts. Maybe you've gone ahead and chosen a palette of colors for your marketing, for your team, for your real estate company, as well as fonts that you want used on your branding. Now we have gobs back here because of doing demonstrations and things like that, but yours may look a little different. Maybe you just have one particular palette that you use for your branding, and that's good. It's good to have consistency in your brand, right? That helps with your brand recognition. But I just want to show you briefly how you can come in here and add a palette. Go ahead and click the plus and you can begin choosing your different colors. You even have an eyedropper here. Let's say you have an image that you really like and you want to use the images or the colors directly from that image. You have the eyedropper so that you can come over and choose any color that you want and go ahead and add that to your palette. So we can just literally copy over a palette that you have already found from somewhere and duplicate the color palette from a particular image or someone else's branding, somebody else that, or maybe you're joining a team and they have brand colors and things like that. So it's easy to come in here and create these palettes, as well as choosing fonts and uploading fonts. So you have some options down here as well. Images. This is where you can come and actually add in new folders and continuously add in images that maybe you want to continue using in your branding throughout multiple pieces. Text and logos are going to be pretty self-explanatory, but for the text, I do want to point out things like your social links, as well as your website, your KW website, maybe your slogan in business, your phone number, your email, your company name. These are all things like Scott even has his bio in here. So these are things that you will, again, repeatedly be using on designs. But instead of having to, again, create the wheel every time or type everything out manually, you can just come in here and start adding your text assets. Because once you get into the editor and you're editing these design pieces, even if they're custom or a template, you'll be able to like drag and drop these onto a design piece easily, saving you time later. Let's go to logos. Now, we already have the Market Center logos here, and you may as well. It depends on if you were set up here by Scott Leroy and what we currently do for your office. But you can always come in and add a new folder if you need to, add more logos. But your Market Center logos should be here in this area. If they're not and you need them, I do want to show you where you can go and find them. So we're actually going to open a new tab here for command. Let me zoom in for you. So again, from your command dashboard, you can actually come up to connect here and go to browse all. New associates is going to be what you will search. And this is how to find your Market Center logos. Okay, guys, that's where I'm taking you. Market Center logos. And so new associate essentials is listed right here. Click on that. And from new associate essentials, if you scroll down, now while there's some really cool stuff back here and you need to come visit it when you have more time, definitely come back here and look at the logos and branding right here. Click that bookmark to save it so you don't have to hunt and peck for it every time if you want. But we'll go ahead and click logos and branding. And from right here, you do have some options as well. But over here on the far right is the primary logo collection that you can find. And if you come down, you can actually find your Market Center logos right here and click Get Your Market Center logo. It's a spreadsheet format right now. KW was in the process of moving this from kwconnect.com into Command. And so we believe this is a temporary fix right now, so that they could go ahead and relocate that. But right here, you can just use Control F and search for your Market Center number And once you find it, you have a preview link that you can click on if you want to and view that logo. And you can come back. And over here on the right is the download link. And when you download this, notice it is a zip file. There will be multiple images of this logo because they will be in high def color. They'll usually do black and white or a grayscale. Some will have backgrounds, some won't. It really just depends on what your market center has created for themselves when it comes to logos. But it is a zip form that you will have multiple options to choose from. And then you can bring those back over. I'll go ahead and download this here so that you guys can see. Give me just a second to pull that up on a monitor. Here we go. All right. And so from right here, you can go ahead and open that zip folder. I went one too far. There we go. And extract all. It's going to ask you this. Go ahead and click extract. This is how you open a zip file. And so now we're actually in that file and we can get in here and open any of the logos. Each folder has different logos. We'll choose an RGB. Those are usually your colors. And from here, PNG files tend to work best when you're working like for a social image or a print image. They're pretty versatile across the internet and on paper. So we'll go ahead and just open the PNG file and take a look at what that looks like. This looks good to go. So I'm going to go ahead and just drag this over into another folder so I can easily find it for you guys. But you don't have to do that step. It's right here on your device. And so let's go back into our logos in our KW Command Designs. And we're just going to add this in. Add asset, my device. There's that logo and upload file. And so now our Market Center logo is right here. Come on, little guy. This is not the time to freeze. Okay, let's hit refresh. There we go. There he is. Okay. So right here on the far left, he did upload correctly. And if you want to move them into a folder, you definitely can, especially if like you're associated with multiple market centers. But now you have this logo uploaded into your assets so that you can easily use it on any design you create moving forward. Okay. And next, three folders are going to be the same that we saw with company assets as well. Any elements that you have, maybe you do have a logo, not necessarily a logo, but like an image, or you like to use arrows or stars or a particular design in your designs, you can definitely upload it here and videos and files as well. Okay, so these are all here. If you need to be able to use those repeatedly in designs, you can come here and add these into your assets. All right. Now that we've explored across the tabs at the top, let's go back to our templates and actually start jumping into a design so that I can show you your design editor and the different options that are within that. So on the left-hand side, we're going to stay under the listing tab for this and choose just listed. And then across the top here, we're just going to choose like a letter size flyer. And so choosing the bubble at the top, you'll notice it did minimize the templates that we have available so that we can choose from the ones that are already that size. Still have the option to start from blank if you want to, but I'm just going to grab one of the ones down here to use. We'll go with this one today and just choose use. This may take just a moment. It's going to open it into your editor here. See the red bar scrolling across the top. Once that stops, it's fully loaded. And again, sometimes this takes a little longer than normal. So don't be alarmed. There it goes. All right. And so again, just some general layout. Obviously, your design piece will be located right here in the center. At the top, you do have the title to this piece. And so you can come up here and just double click on it and add in anything that you would like to do to adjust the name and click away. You'll notice it does auto save for you and you'll get little banners saying saved. Okay. You have undo button over here in the top left. Very important to remember. And a redo button. At the top right, we will go over some of these options at the top right. These are once you start finishing your piece, and if you're wanting to download, share, order, those kind of things. So we'll visit this in just a moment. And right here at the top, you have some editing options like drawing tools, frames, text, if you want to add tables. So we'll touch on these a little bit. Keep an eye on them because they do change when you begin to start clicking on different items in your piece. Okay. Over here on the left-hand side, you have some tabs. These are mainly the items that we just looked at in the Assets tab. This is where you're going to be able to drag and drop them easily into your piece. If you have multiple pieces, multiple pages to your piece rather, you do have an option over on the right-hand side to view those pages, and we'll be able to do that when we jump into the listing or buyer presentation. So let's go ahead over here on the left-hand side. The goal here is we are going to take this particular flyer and brand it to ourselves so that we can use this in marketing, whether we're going to send it out through like an email campaign, because you can take a print piece back here, download it as an image, and use it in an email campaign if you want. Or if you really are going to actually print them out and use them. But I just want to show you how quick it can be to edit or how easy it can be. We're not going to do it quickly because I want to show you all the options, but show you how easy it can be to actually get this branded over to yourself. Okay. So at the top left, you do have some templates that you can click on, and hopefully they're going to work today. There we go. So if you did want to change templates, maybe you grabbed the wrong one. These are going to be easy to access over here on the left-hand side so that you can come and grab those if you want, or maybe there's something that you previously used and you liked that you can change this up with. Images. Self-explanatory. Look at these stock images here, and I believe somebody asked if they were royalty-free. Yes, these are free to you. So you can come through here, um, type in things that you're looking for, like home exterior. And once you find an image that you like, you can just go ahead and click the plus sign and it will put it over here into your design. Okay. Now I'm going to delete that. Give me just a second. You can actually go ahead and highlight the image that is right here on the right so that it's just that image. And instead of hitting the plus to add it to your design, you can actually use this swap icon here. It's the two arrows in a circle, and it will swap that image out, keeping the same shape. Notice the layer is still in the back, and you can adjust it if you want to, or just click away and it will save it just right there with your image. Okay. Again, quickly being able to brand this design. You also have My Assets available up here. So if you had saved any images under your My Assets previously, they would also be available right here. And they're not uploading for some reason, but we're going to chalk that up to my system and not a command issue. And you also have your workspace as well, those particular folders that you can come in and search through that were from the KW company assets. You can come in here and choose from those as well if you would prefer to use one of them. Okay. The text. Remember to save like your phone number and things like that. So let me zoom in over here so that we can focus on this little area for the branding. Hopefully you can see that. Let me go in a little bit closer. All right. And so for right here, instead of it just saying your name, you can click on that piece, come to your text, My Assets, and find where it would be like Scott's name. So we're just going to use the swap button and swap that out. Next field, you can highlight if you want, swap it out. I actually put my cursor in that one, so that's my fault. Let me delete that and swap it out again. So I'm going to click away, click that box. Actually, it looks better without it. So let's just skip that. But right here for all the information, now this particular template included that all in one section. So if you have that built out over here, you could definitely use it. I'm actually going to swap it out for one piece. Grab we have Scott's email in here, but not our support team's email. That's funny. We're going to swap it out for Scott's email. And then I can click on that. Here we go. And we're actually just going to use the plus sign instead of the swap out for the rest. So like plus, hold on, where'd it go? The plus for the website. It's putting it at the top for me. Let me back out a little bit so I can drag and drop over here. And you can also add additional items like this without having to swap out, okay? So this might depend on your templates a little bit with since it had it all as one block there. So with the phone number, we can come in, add our phone number, put our plus, grab it at the top, and bring it on down. And now you can sit here and spend the time to actually put this back into this particular template, come up here and swap it out to the different font and color that the rest of the block was. We're not going to take too much time with this. It looks like this was Poppins 9 and white. So we can click on our phone number and make this 9 and change it over to Poppins. There we go. And we can go ahead and change our color. Oh, and you can always do the eyedropper as well to choose the same white if you want. Okay. I'll zoom in so you can see that a little bit better. So you can go ahead and get it to match and adjust those items as well if you want to, or you can just do the plus and leave it out here just like so and maybe put it in a different location if you want. Okay. Next for logos, you can see the DBA logo listed right over here. So we'll just come over My Assets. You can look through the folders or you can possibly use one of the ones that's outside of the folders and just use that swap button, swap out that logo. Logos will allow you to drag the corners as well when you have images on these designs. So you can drag and make this bigger or smaller. Don't know if you can see the DBA compliance information, but you can always drag and drop that and you can make that bigger as well if you need to. Okay. Let's back out a little bit so you can see it again. And so that was for logos. Back up to images as well. If you have your headshot under My Assets, that's another good thing to keep in your assets. So there's a better picture of Scott. So right here, we can just swap that out and you can keep your picture the same size or again, adjust the sizing if you need to. And then when it comes to your actual listing, like with the address and the images and things like that, you do have a KWLS feature over here on the left that will allow you to look for listings. So right here, let me grab we're going to use the MLS number and hit enter. And it should pull up your listing for you. Now, this guy's been a little quirky lately as they're doing more updates and designs. But it looks like he may have worked. Just a second. Let's hunt and peck for our listing. I'm not seeing the exact listing I was looking for, but it's okay. We'll go ahead and grab one of these. So we'll just hit select. And this will pull up your MLS information. So it will have the photos, it will have the listing details as well as all the information like the address, the stats, the price. Now, this one obviously sold, but this is also information that you can easily swap out over here in these different fields so that you don't have to manually do it. So your image as well, you can pull from the MLS and swap it out, as well as the address and any of the text, like right down here, the text for this home. You can go to the listing details and find the description from the MLS if it is still here with this one being sold. Let's see. Property description. We'll go ahead and swap that out. And now you can see it's a little bit bigger, but if you want to stretch it to make it fit, you can. Maybe change the font a little bit and make it bolder. You can also put your cursor in there, delete, add, etc. Okay. So that's how you would quickly get in here and edit one of the listing flyers. Once you're done branding it, it does auto save, but if you're concerned, you can always come to File and click Save just to make sure. Okay. And over here in the far right, you have some options from here. So the download option is right here, and it gives you several ways to download it. Remember the PNG file? That's going to be more universal when it comes to doing either online, email, or print. So you can do a PNG image if you'd like. If you're wanting to add this into an email design to send out through either an email campaign or through a smart plan email, you will want to download this as an image to be added into the email design. It does have to be an email design to be sent out through email, like through campaigns and smart plans. So if that's your ultimate intention, you can definitely download it as a PNG. We'll go ahead and download that. Takes just a second. We usually have a pop-up in the bottom left-hand corner that will show that it's being downloaded. It actually went so fast, it's done. So over here in the top right, you'll see that downloaded as an image. I'll click the download button again because you have a couple of other options here. You can do JPEG and PDFs. Um, if you're wanting to actually print this out, you can definitely download this as a PDF here as well. Okay. You do have an order option available here in the top right-hand corner. Um, if you want to order prints. Now, this will be through the command designs that you're ordering this through. This is not through SLM. This is not through KW. It's through a third party right here, but you can come here and start ordering these, review and finalize and order prints through your command designs. Again, through a third party, not through SLM or KW, but you do have an option here if that is what you want to have done. You also have a share feature as well. We're going to go ahead and show you this share feature. Now, right here, you can copy this link and it is a preview of this flyer. When we get to our listing presentation, this is how it will actually look as like a digital version that you can share with some folks. But for a flyer, it's just going to show us our one image. So I just took that link and pasted it. So you can have this one image like a digital preview that you can give to somebody, and you can show the different views as it takes its blessed time. So at the top anyway, you could see the different views from mobile and desktop and presentation view and book view. We'll revisit this again when we get into the listing presentation when we have multiple pages and it'll look more dynamic for you. So we're going to go ahead and close that link and come back. Um, just know these options right here, I just want to give a disclaimer. It does say share this project and with it on your social media. This is not what you want to do. Don't do this. It will actually be that same view that has the option for editing and things like that. So it's not what you think it's going to be. Okay. And so this is literally a link that you may share digitally with your client to show them the pieces that you're working on, something like that. But when it comes to your socials, make sure to actually save this as a social piece if you were in your social pieces, not your print pieces, or save it as an image. And then go through command for your social post campaign. That is the proper way to share it on your socials. Okay, so this is a little misleading to say that it's right here, but we'll click away. And now we can click done with this particular design piece. It will bring you back to your designs dashboard. And now you can see the piece that you edited right here. Okay, and it gives you a few options. If you hover over and have the three dots, you can rename it, make a copy, or delete it. All right. Now, let's move forward with creating like a buyer or listing presentation, and I'll show you some other things there within the editor. Okay. And so up here at the top right, we'll do create design. We'll go back to print and next. And so from right here, again, we're back here where our templates are. On the left-hand side, you do have buyer presentation available within your templates. These are the ones here that you can choose from, and you can hover over them if you want and see it'll start moving through a couple of the first pages for you. And you can see up in the corner about how many pages it is. These are all usually 9 plus. Yeah. So if you hover over them, they'll start flipping through so that you can get an idea if this is something that you want to use or not, as well as a listing presentation right here. So again, hovering over them if you want to look at them a little bit. And we're going to go ahead and jump into a listing presentation here. And we'll grab this guy. Let's use him for today. So we'll come down and use, and it will open that design in the design editor. Same design editor that we just saw with the flyer. So our tabs on the left are going to stay the same. Okay. We'll give that red bar just a second here to finish loading. There we go. And so over here, you still do have this piece, but remember I said multiple pages. Over here on the right, you can click to view all the pages in this presentation and click to see them. Okay. You can also slide them up and down in a different order. And maybe if there's a page that you do not want to be included, you can actually go ahead and choose that and click the three dots to the right and duplicate or delete. So we'll go ahead and delete that one. Confirm. Takes it a second and it will delete it from your presentation, or it should. That's funny. The little guy just won't leave today. Hold on. We'll hit refresh on our browser and see if that'll get him out. See if he left. It's still loading. Notice again the red bar at the top. That's it loading and taking forever. There we go. We'll pop this back out again and see if it'll show us the pages. Some of them loaded. If we click on 12 though, this is a different page, so it did finally delete that little guy out. Sorry it's doing this today, guys. Let me close a couple of tabs here in the back and see if we can get a little better performance. There we go. All right, and so from right here within your listing presentation, I just showed you how you can preview the pages. You can move them in different directions. You can delete them, duplicate them, or even add new. Okay, so several different options here when you're working with a multi-page presentation. And you still have all your editing options over here on the left. And so with this being an image right here in a listing presentation, we'll come over here to images. And if there's something maybe your My Assets that you would rather use, like maybe your headshot on the front or an image of their particular home, which it wouldn't be on your MLS just yet, but you can always upload images, maybe if you've snapped one or gotten one off the internet. There we go. So you can simply highlight this again and swap it out for another image. Looks like I don't have any portrait options. We'll go ahead and swap it out for a landscape and see. It still frames it up pretty good. But then you can see like the font. We haven't gone over this just yet. Um, well, we changed one of the fonts, but just to show you that if this does overlap into your image and you don't like it, you can add highlight to back it up. You can change the different colors, make it bolder. And of course, you always have the option to drag and drop this into a different location. And you see the rulers lining up to help you. You will have those as well. And you can make any adjustments that you want to. Do not judge my artistic ability by doing this so fast for you guys. Oh, and I just swapped him back. Let me double click, cancel. I'm going to do our undo button. There we go. And so you can adjust this as you need to, as well as use your drawing tools, your shapes, your frames up here. With your frames, you can actually add a particular frame in. and then go grab one of your images, like your headshot, and it will frame it up for you and keep it in that particular shape. Now, that was a transparent background on Scott right there. Let me see if I can get his other one that doesn't have a transparent background, and you can see that it will keep it in the frame shape that you created it. Okay. So let me click away from that. You have lots of different shapes, excuse me, frames that you can come in here and use, and it will put the image in that shape for you so that you don't have to manually sit there and try to crop over and over. Okay. And as you move through your listing presentation, something to remember for these guys, this is generic information. You need to go through this very well with a fine-tooth comb and make sure that everything is as you want it to be. You can even see down here, please email support@kw.com. You don't want that email when you're sending it out to a listing presentation. So do make sure that you are coming in and updating all of the text and making sure that your branding is on every single page if you want it to be, or at least your correct contact information. Okay. So as you're moving through the listing presentation, it's going to be the same as with our flyer. Um, this obviously you can't pull from the KWLS because the listing won't be on MLS yet. So you will have a little bit of manual input that you'll need to do, but you can always do that and come in here and select the boxes to make those changes. You make sure that you're using like your logos over here on the left-hand side. And you do have some animation, guys, as well. Let me go back up to our front page here. And you do have some animation if you're planning on having this be digitally presented. And so you can come in and use some of the animations as well. Okay. This is also how you can create GIFs within your command designs, by the way. So you can come in and create those with animations. Okay. You do have a QR code option right here. Maybe on your listing presentation, you want to be able to have a QR code to maybe something like your website. So you can always come in here. I recommend going to an extra tab and making sure that you actually go to the website that you're wanting to use. Because notice we typed in scottleroymarketing.kw.com, which is also taking forever to load. This is definitely a system issue for me today, guys. I apologize. But as that page loads, when you go to double click the page, once it does load, it will have the HTTPS colon / in front of it, and that will allow it to actually be a hyperlink or a live link. It's just always a good idea to have that in front of your URLs when you're using it in marketing. And so this little guy's not going to load for me today. So we're going to stop that and come back. And let me just show you how to do the QR code. So over here is a QR code, and you can go ahead and enter the URL. Ah, it did paste with the HTTP, even though it wasn't showing. So there we go. That's our URL that we have for our KW agent site. And you can go ahead and customize this a little bit down here with like background color. So maybe we do want to keep it white since this back page is black, but you could make it different colors if you want. Okay. Get it as white as we can get it. There we go. And you can also change the QR color and upload a logo, but notice these have a little crown that's premium. It's not free within your designs. And you do have the margins around the outside if you want to adjust those. And you can generate the QR code and put it right here on your listing presentation. Okay. Over here on the top right, again, if you want to make sure, I mean, it's saved, but go ahead and click File Save if you want. You can go ahead and rename this as well. And click away and it'll save it. For downloading purposes, you do have the same options right here for like PNG if you want to do images or PDF. Since it does have animation in it, it does give you the option to also download it as a video. And since it has multiple pages, now you have options to either choose all pages or just choose one or some of the pages if you want to download them. Okay. You also have the order print option still, as well as the share feature. I'm going to go back to the share feature. Now that we have these multiple pages, I want to copy the link for the share and pop it into another tab so that you can see what it will look like. And it's kind of like a digital book. This would be great to have like on an iPad or something like that if you're going to your listing presentation so that you can do it digitally and not have to do it paper-wise. Um, let's go magazine mode if it'll work for us here. There we go. And so zoom back up a little bit. And so you can have it here in layout mode, and it looks like a magazine that you can come back and go through like this, or we can come back up here into, did it do it? Okay, there we go. And so you can have it in scroll mode if you want, as well as the presentation mode here. Let me go full screen and see if it will work better. Okay, and so even though this one still goes into scroll mode, I used to have a page that we could actually go side to side like this if you prefer it, and it typically doesn't show it all listed out. So this is what I was looking for up here so that you can seriously have this on your screen, one page, and then be able to flip side to side. Okay. And so you can lay this out however you want. And that way, this particular link, you can send it to your clients or just email it to yourself so that you will actually have it to be able to present this information during your listing presentation. Okay. And again, this is not sharing to your socials. Guys, don't use this. It will be this particular link, which there will be an edit button on there. Okay. So go ahead and click done when you are done editing your listing presentation. It pins it right here to your design dashboard. And now you do have those options like moving forward, since this one's branded to you, you can come in here and just make a copy for your next listing presentation. And then all you have to do to that new copy is edit the actual listing stats and listing photos, but you don't have to recreate one with your branding on it. Okay. And that brings us to the end of our class today, guys. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording. If you have any questions, definitely make sure they're in the chat. I'll be happy to go over those with you here in the next couple of minutes. And if you're watching this back on recording, you can always reach out to us at support@scottleroymarketing.com, and we'll be happy to help. Thanks for watching.